The Nobel Foundation recently found itself at the center of controversy. Initially, they extended a hand to the ambassadors of Russia, Belarus, and Iran for their prestigious award ceremony, even if their values didn't align with the Nobel ideals. But what led to this abrupt U-turn in their decision? Let's dive into the intricacies of this intriguing development. The Nobel Foundation's about-face came swiftly as they declared that the ambassadors of these three countries would no longer be on the guest list. This move followed intense criticism, leaving us to ponder the question, should diplomatic relations always take precedence over values? The decision initially sparked outrage from Ukraine, who vehemently condemned the invitations extended to Russian and Belarusian ambassadors. Their exclusion from the previous year's Nobel Prize awards due to the Ukraine conflict had left a bitter taste. A Swedish member of the European Parliament echoed the sentiment, deeming the decision extremely inappropriate. So, should the Nobel Foundation prioritize diplomatic inclusivity over addressing the grievances of nations directly affected by conflict? The Nobel Foundation defended its initial stance, emphasizing the importance of spreading the values and messages that the Nobel Prize represents. They cited the previous year's Nobel Peace Prize recipients, including human rights advocates from Russia and Belarus, as well as Ukrainian activists documenting Russian war crimes. The foundation insisted that their intention was to extend the reach of these messages, even to those who may not fully embrace them. This begs the question: is it more important to engage with dissenting voices, or to maintain the integrity of the Nobel Prize's values? However, the overwhelming backlash in Sweden led to a change of heart. The foundation opted to revert to the exception they had made the previous year, excluding the ambassadors of Russia, Belarus, and Iran. This decision was met with approval from the Swedish Prime Minister and Ukrainian officials. But was this reversal the right course of action or a compromise of principles? The Nobel Banquet, a celebrated annual event in Stockholm, has historically been a beacon of international cooperation. But in recent times, tensions between Russia, Belarus, and the rest of the world have deepened. The exclusion of Russians and Belarusians from various events has become commonplace, mirroring the consequences of Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, aided by Minsk, in February 2022. Are we witnessing a significant shift in diplomatic norms, or is this a temporary rift in international relations? Adding another layer of complexity to this situation, Nobel Committee Chair Berit Reiss-Andersson accused Russia of attempting to silence Nobel Peace Prize-winning journalist Dmitry Muratov. Russia's classification of Muratov as a foreign agent under recent legislation raises concerns about freedom of speech and information. Reiss-Andersson expressed sadness at this development, stating that the accusations against Muratov were politically motivated. Should the Nobel Foundation take a more proactive stance in defending its laureates, or should they remain neutral in diplomatic disputes? As we ponder these questions, the Nobel Foundation's decision to uninvite the controversial ambassadors has certainly made headlines. It underscores the delicate balance between diplomacy and principles and the ever-evolving landscape of international relations. While the Nobel banquet approaches, the world watches closely, wondering how the Nobel Foundation will navigate these challenging waters.
Watch another video. Which Daily Blade video do you want to watch next?